Monday, sis. It's Monday. It's Meditation Monday, and we are we're a little bit behind this morning. And so, what I intend on doing, because the hard stop is the hard stop, and so I apologize for running into our time together this morning. I usually like to make it up here at 7 o'clock. And so today is supposed to be Meditation Monday. We are typically going to do a 15-minute guided meditation this morning. But what I wanted to say, because we're not going to be able to do that, um, it's just coming up here, and I was really looking forward to it this morning. Um, but I wanted to talk about why I am behind this morning. So I woke up at the normal time, 5:30, and I felt like this urge to meditate, and really set the mood for myself in meditation this morning. I'm on my cycle, and typically I move slower. I move slower when I'm on my cycle. I try to spend as much time connecting with my body during this time as possible. And so I move slower. I always take it much easier during this time. So, like, if I have this to do list, I'll just flow easily through it. If whatever doesn't get done, doesn't get done. If it does get done, great. But when I'm on my cycle, I like to just really spend more time connecting, more time focusing on releasing versus walking this fine line between like overstimulating myself and doing too much, right? And so, because I mean, I think those are just two bad places to be in, right? And so, like, for me, when I'm on my cycle, I meditate more. I spend less time around people. This is a journey that I started last year. I think it was last year. It's probably 2 years ago. Now that I think about it, because what I did was I started noticing that the week before my cycle, I was just like, "Rrr." Like, it was just like attitude was on 10, very much irritated, very much um, just always like triggered. And for me, I first started journaling about it and started journaling like, wow, like the way that I shift when my cycle comes on is unreal. Like, it cannot be this way. This cannot be natural. And so as I started paying more attention to myself and really trying to figure out what is the best way to take divine care of myself during this time, I started to realize that the things that were working for me, the things that were allowing me to be better with my emotions, to be better with the way that I was responding to the world around me, the people around me, was to, one, reduce stimulation, reduce energy exertion, and really focus on spending more quality, intentional time with myself and noticing what it is that I'm feeling. And then journaling a lot through the process. And so this morning I was journaling, set the mood, lit my incense, laid down, and really started. And then there's a few other things that I do actually now when it comes to the ritual for my cycle, that I do want to share with you all. I just don't have the time this morning, but what I'm doing now is just really trying to recognize this period of my life, this short window that I get every month to really be intentional about releasing, really intentional about coming inward and being more inward. And so after my shower this morning, after my meditation, I went into the shower this morning and even spent some time in the shower, trying to be there with my body, being present. Got up under the shower head. So, just being very, very much calm. And so this is why I'm late. But I encourage you, sis, to definitely notice yourself, especially when you're on your cycle. I know that everyone is different, but I just know that what works for me is reducing stimulation, reducing interaction. And so I definitely like to spend more quality time with myself. Even last night when my kids were like, "Can we sleep with you?" I was like, no, no. And it's not even like now, like when I first started this routine, it was more intentional to spend more time with myself, and now it's just like this discipline where whenever my cycle comes on, my whole being is just like on board with, all right, we're retreating, and with all right, we're gonna be using less energy. And so even though I had like work to do and things, yesterday when I was writing yesterday, I stopped in the middle because I felt myself needing to stop. My expression is just, important to me in that way. And so whenever my body's saying like, okay, let's take a break, let's go outside, I listen to whatever it is that my body is telling me that I need. And so, this morning when I got up here, I knew, I was just like, all right, it's Meditation Monday, but I knew that it was not even, we weren't going to do that, but it was just kind of like, also, how can I turn this into a moment where I'm actually, still giving and being able to help improve self-awareness and emotional wellness, because that's what we do here at SenterME, right? And so I decided to share with you all, what my current state of being is, and how I like to take divine care of myself during this time. So I hope that this is something that does help. Hope that this is a session that does provide value for you. And if you have any other questions about your cycle and what typically happens with you, and I also wanted to say this too. So we have pads on the SenterME Self-Love Bar on our website. Our Self-Love Bar offers our SenterME feminine hygiene products by Jewel. And I use these pads, and honestly, I use them. These are the only pads that I use. These are the only pads that I'm comfortable using because, they're completely sealed, which means that there isn't any concern about, chemicals needing to air out. And then for me, it's like, because they're completely sealed, I don't have to worry about anything possibly getting into the pads. So I absolutely love these pads. I spend my cycle most of the time. Hey girl. I spend my cycle most of the time free flowing. And then when I am using pads, these are the pads that I use because I've felt a tremendous difference between me using over the counter pads versus the pads that I'm using now. My cramps, I literally don't get cramps anymore. I don't get cramps anymore. I don't feel like my flow is as heavy. It's still significantly heavier in the second and third day, but not as heavy as it used to be. And so I love these pads. And so I was just like, okay, I have to offer these at SenterME for our self-love bar. So definitely try them out. They're $6 and they're worth it. Absolutely worth it. And so so that's another thing too. But I hope that this definitely helps you all, because being able to notice yourself more during your cycle, and really taking advantage of this time to release, replenish, and be connected with your body, and your body's telling you too, like, what do we need to release? What do I need to release right now? Like this morning, my message was during meditation, like, I need to release these emotions that I'm experiencing around my pitch competition coming up on Wednesday. And I'm going to do that. And figure out what that looks like today. So I'm going to do some journaling around that. But yeah, so it's just like being on your cycle is a really powerful time to release and be committed to that release. And so your body is already naturally doing that, and so being able to go into the flow of that is only going to benefit you emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So definitely, if you have any questions at all about your cycle and as it relates to your emotional wellness, how do you start to see more consistency during that time in your moods and things of that nature, definitely reach out, because I'm going to be here talking to you, giving you all as much everything that I can as it relates to emotional wellness tips and resources. And so if you do have any questions about your cycle and your emotional wellness during that time, definitely link up with me, but definitely watch this video if you are watching the replays. Hey girl. And definitely try our pads over at SenterME.com and our self-love bar, because they're amazing, and if they weren't, I wouldn't have put them up there. So we're about quality expression here. Quality, okay? Quality everywhere. So thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Again, I apologize for us not doing the meditation this morning, but I feel like we did have a very fruitful conversation. So I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is Talk That Talk Tuesday, and we will be talking about affirmations that ground you and going to promote security and self. So that's our theme this week, security and self. And so we're going to be talking a lot about that this week. But have a wonderful, wonderful day on purpose. I'm sending you so much love, so much peace, and so much light, sis.